Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Couldn't get past 69K, baby. Let's see what happens if the weekly candle close, baby. Let's go. All right. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Livers Show, baby. Let's get that music back up and running. Welcome to the Crypto Livers Show, baby. Here we go for the weekly candle close. Can't go like I used to. I'm dying over here. I lost all my lungs, guys. I just don't have it like I used to. Shout out to everybody here. 65,000 on Bookmap is Big Red telling us that we may go lower in the week. So, that's just the first thing we see. Just Bookmap saying that it wants 65,000. That's it, 65,400. But again, need I digress. We'll go one movement at a time, one step at a time here for Bitcoin. But dang, right? And we were looking at a bunch of different coins today. Funny that Gary is that thing actually used to move back in the day. Let's take a look at what's happening for Bitcoin. We talked about this having to bounce. Remember I said this has to give us a bit of a bounce. We did get the bounce in the last 5 to 6 hours. That's what we were looking for. I guess I was wrong with, see, I put my moolah on Tuesday. Look how off I was. I was like Tuesday. If I had actually put it in the right time. So I put Tuesday for whatever reason. I was so off, man. Like now I look at it, I'm like, dude. No one called me out on that this morning. Anyway, when I called out where we could be, but we did get the bounce so far. The form is still in shape here, and that means the trade's still open, even though it's still flat as anything. And imagine having that trade's been open all weekend long, just doing nothing. We did take profits of the bigger one, which was nice. At one point, that trade was probably up like $600 though. So, hey, but okay, that wasn't the point of that trade, right? Every trade has a point. Making sure that wasn't the one with the, you know what I mean? Hey. Let's take a look at what happened here. But, so far, so good. All I wanted was for the 4 hour to make a bounce off my trend line, remember? I said, all I need is for this to turn green. I said, you're basically waiting for this 4 hour candle to turn green. When it does, now we're back in the money here. Now we're back inside of this idea. And we can get the bounce back to the top of the channel. At least even just bounce back up here, and then we could have a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder. And, things can really start to get busy here. So, not the worst thing of the world here for Bitcoin. We're going to take a look at the weekly close and all that. But remember, all we cared about today on my stream was making sure we got the tweezer bottom here on the 4 hour, and we did get it. And, I'll move from 68,000 up to 69 if you wanted to be a scalper. For me, that's just sketchy on a Sunday night. But, hey, not the worst thing in the world. Okay, let's take a look at the weekly candle close today and take a look at what happened. Wasn't an amazing close, I'll be honest. I would have liked it to have been green. Now we have to see if the next week can turn green. And every single week we turn red, you have to wait for the next tweezer bottom and the next tweezer bottom. That's why the next big idea for me is March has to close green. Until then, right, because we know this is likely going to close. Unless, it would be crazy if this ends up closing green, but the odds are very low, right? So the odds are we're going to see this close, and then we're going to see March, this close red, and we're going to see in March will have to turn green, right? Halfway through February already, can you believe it? We're cruising through. Remember when I said every 10 days, and we're already through so many 10-day periods inside. Only 36 10-day periods, and we're already through 4.5 of them now. So crazy, right? So that you're almost. it's 10% is 3.6. We're already 10% through the year. If you can believe that, it's kind of fascinating. If you can think of this is it really, because 30 days in a month. We're already 45 days through the year. And there's only 365 days in a year. It's pretty mind-boggling. Anyway, let's take a look. We opened at 70,330. The high was 71,453 and 53 cents. The low was $65,118. So that's as low as you could have gotten it this week. And the candle closed at 68,832 and 58 cents, down $1,497.80 on the week, down 2%. And then the next weekly candle you can barely see because it's just battling whether it wants to. And again, you kind of need a bigger dip here so this can have a wick. If this doesn't dump, you got to assume it's going to go lower too as well. So, the weekly candle not looking too strong. Well, let's do our top-down analysis like we do every single time. So to me, the next bigger level is 61,000, right? It's telling you, hey, you're likely going to come down here to test this level or 58K. It's just starting to tell me that 58,000 is likely. This big support didn't hold at 70,000, and you think that would have to be the key area that you stay back above. Couldn't hold above it. Now you're coming back down to these key levels And so you got to say, hey, where would you go? I mean, 58,000, 61,000 makes a lot of sense. So on the biggest time frame, looks like we may be going lower right now. I just don't see, nothing has said, hey, we're going to stop the pain. You see what I mean? So, and that could change in a day or two. Anything could change. But right now, that's not the case. The 2-week chart did close absolutely red. And we didn't get much of a dump. If we did, it's a little bit of a wick, which is okay. But I'm not a fan of this. I like the candle to have a way bigger wick than that. That's pretty sketchy to me, if you ask. That's not a good look to me. And then you got to see here that we have all this red down here at about, 65,400. It's just starting to call our name that we could be going lower. So I'm not a fan of the 2-week chart, too. It looks, I would have liked a bigger dump. This candle really should be red right now. Like, if it's going to be a green candle, we dump down to like 64, 65. Then we start to reverse halfway through the week. Or halfway through the 2-week, as this being the 2-week chart, but we'll see. The weekly candle, same idea. Like, now you're going to tweezer bottom with barely any dippage. I mean, at least you have some dump. And what am I saying? I'm saying, look, every single time we've had a reversal, we've had a green candle next to a red one. And you're like, yes, I know, I get that, Sam. But the point is, I'm saying we also get a beautiful wick here. You see? And so the wick is telling me, hey, that's we can get a good reversal. And you can see every time we had a pretty good reversal, we did have a deep wick. Here we didn't. It was pretty small. Here was somewhat small, but usually it's a pretty decent sized wick. There was no wick at all, so it doesn't have to be. But I'm just going over this idea. So now it's like, okay, the idea is this. So here's two things. Someone could get in right now with a stop below this wick, and you'd be trying to front run the fact that the next week will be green. It is the third week of the month. It tends to be green. Even if you're an ICT guy, it tends to be green. It tends to move. So that's an interesting concept. All right, now we take a look at the 5-day chart. 5-day chart, still hasn't showed me anything like it wants to reverse. 3-day is hugging this double tweezer bottom, which is good. This suggests you could enter here with a stop below these two wicks, and you still may be able to catch the bottom. So the 3, that doesn't look too bad. And then here we are back on that daily chart, and you can see kind of what's brewing on the daily, right? At the end of the day, to me, this is a bear flag, and it's telling me that it's likely going to go lower once it kisses the 21-day moving average. I'm looking for the smaller time frames to give us the confirmation of the reversal, right? And this is that's my strategy. That's like what I'm actually good at, is figuring out when the 4 hour is going to turn, the 1 hour is going to turn, and when you can long the daily with some high probability, right? That's basically like my whole thing. So again, we're looking for this cup and handle. This is an Adam and Eve with the little flag. I've been seeing the little flag on the Adam and Eve. It's like almost like a new pattern that I've started to see a lot. This is a shoulder. That's a head. That's a right shoulder. And I love the actual, you can grab the indicator. Your family and friends will love this when you actually have and it actually says head and shoulder pattern. Like, they'll love that. That'll get them all, they'll giggle that. But anyway, so we're looking for this bounce back to the upside and for Bitcoin to get tight. This looks like, and then that will make an inverted head and shoulder. You see? That could then dig us out of here. I'm looking for these to get tight and for us to pump to the 200 moving average. This is the trade that I gave to the trading group. Stop below here, entry here, take profit up here. It's going to take us some time before we find out whether this trade plays out, but that's really the basic trade. And then I gave the bottom call here for Bitcoin with the entry here, the stop below there. That's still in the money if you did take that bottom call on the 4 hour. I used the 4 hour tweezer bottom. Very simple. I made a short about it. So there's a short where I'll explain why I did it. If you want to watch my shorts, they're really good. They've got great information. I'm not saying shorting the market. I'm saying like my actual short videos. They've got a lot of good info in them. And they'll break it down for you and just kind of, and they're fast, right? You don't have to sit there for an hour to learn. It's a really good thing. So here, check this out. And look, we're pumping out shorts all the time, man. My goodness. Interesting. Anyway, that's a good one. But I'm just trying to find it. Where was this one? Making so many. Yeah, but this is why I longed Bitcoin right here. This video is amazing. And it's got 3,000 views too. It's one of the most watched shorts because it explains exactly what I did and how I did it. And that's still a long to this day. It's going to take, this takes time. Look how many shorts we put out since then. Unbelievable. Shout out to my team pumping it out. These look, I don't know if these just came out. I don't know why it is a Sunday, but a little weird there. Anyway, nice little bounce off of the higher low for Bitcoin. So that's what we were talking about earlier today. That's what had to happen. It took 8 hours of price action. And I see us kind of bouncing back, getting tight. And again, I play the moving averages whenever they get this close. About, I'd say more than 90% of the time, we get a pump up to the 200 moving average. So I'm starting to look for this move. Everything cool? I'm starting to look for this move to the 200. What? Okay. Is it all right? So everything kind of looking nice. You know, so far so good. And again, you're like, Dan, you know, this is how you have to do. You have to assume you're going to continue to go lower when you're in bearish times. But always be looking for the possible reversals on smaller time frames. The 200 on the 15, the 200 on the 5. And I'm telling you, this is where most people, this strategy is, if everyone knew how to do this, then the whole world would be able to catch the bottom, and they don't. So this is a skill that takes time to really, really perfect over time, right? Same thing here with the 1 hour time frame. I'm not saying we're definitely going to pump. Like when you really look at it, it could be it's technically in a symmetrical triangle here. It's not amazing. Price action, like I'm telling you, you have to assume this is a bear flag that's going to eventually dump. Smart move would be wait for us to break above and retest, right? If you're not already in, either you take a shot at the actual falling knife or you wait for retest. Otherwise, you're inside of the chip and the chop where they can do whatever they want, right? And even this kind of looks more bearish. Like you could draw this line here and you could see that could start making what's called a descending triangle. And I can see that descend its way right down. And it has shoulder, head, kind of right shoulder vibes. So Bitcoin doesn't look amazing right now. I have to be honest. I have a very small long with very little risk. So I'm not like fiending for a big move here. And again, all I'm looking for tonight is just chop. And like we wake up tomorrow morning somewhere in here. And we kind of, we take on Monday morning as it comes. So I could see some bearishness here. I would watch that. The 15-minute, I would have to say gets this bounce. Look at it. That's in a symmetrical triangle. Those mainly break to the downside 90% of the time. So again, if you're watching the 15, you're looking for this to break down. So a lot of ups and downs here. It doesn't look amazing. And it's also a choppy Sunday night after, a lack of volume. So I'd be very, very careful trading tonight. I do not like trading Sunday night. It's the worst night to trade, in my humble opinion. Heavily volatile, lack of volume, no direction. I usually don't trade till Monday night after like 6 or 7 p.m. at night. I'm going to wait for these things to settle. Sometimes I see something. It depends, but mostly no. Mostly no. I've learned my lesson, and I've watched price action just do too many erratic things Sunday into Monday, right? So yeah. So if my prediction for the night is that we're going to go somewhat sideways, right? My prediction for the night is we will go mostly sideways, kind of up and down. Or we might dolphin dip a little bit, come back in, but, just nothing too crazy. I don't see a huge pump up. I don't see a huge pump down. I just see kind of chop in this area. Preferably, I'd like chop up into the trend, right? And then I'm looking for us to get to the 200 moving average in the 4. Then from there, after that, we'll reset the whole thesis. So that's the first thing that I'm looking for. Let me jump into the chat here. Shout out to everybody kicking it with me on the chat. Thank you so much for kicking it with the lifer. I got that pixel suit. Okay. Am I in a pixel suit? I don't know what that means. Just wanted to say thank you. Your determination is an inspiration. Thank you so much, man. Hey, man, I ran a brand. It's going well. It's been going well for years. Just because I get my Achilles tendon ruptured doesn't mean, the show stops. And so the algorithm still runs, right? The internet still goes on. Everyone still wakes up and touches their computer. There's opportunity still around. I got to keep going. Yeah. President's Day tomorrow. Markets are closed. That's another thing that's going to make it tight. Markets are closed tomorrow. So that's going to be kind of really, really, that's going to be quiet. Those intros were specific for the day of the week. We're beautiful in the looks and the sound. Those intros were specific for the day of the week. We're beautiful in both looks and sound. It's interesting. Yeah, you're a strong and persistent man. Thank you so much. God bless you. God bless you. Oh, snap. I forgot about President's Day. Yes. I'm going to go sideways off to bed, people. 1:30 a.m. God bless you, bro. Go horizontal, my friend. Yeah. You make it seem easy. Well, life is not easy. I'll tell you that. And showing up every day is not easy. It never is for anybody. It's just, you know what it is? It's about not listening to your feelings and just getting up and getting it done. Like, you don't listen, you just keep going. Also, if you have kids, I've got 3 kids, man, that depend on you. Like, it's not really about how I feel. It's about, my kids depend on me, my wife, my life, my community depends on me showing up. So I've created a momentum that has to keep moving. There is no saying no. Yeah. And you got to stay positive. There's no other way to win. There's no other way to win but to stay positive every single day, folks. Shout out to Jamal Antonio. God bless you all. So let's take a look at what's happening with the Forex Factory and what's coming our way, all right, for the week ahead. So Monday, February 16th, bank holiday, right? And that's, we're going to have a bank holiday and the markets are closed. Tuesday, we have nothing for us as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, it doesn't, Empire State Manufacturing Index, yeah, that throws a little wrench in things, but nothing too crazy. Canada, that will affect Forex because that's going to affect your CPI in Canada, 830. But we're clean. And then Wednesday, core durable goods month over month. That's 830, nothing too crazy. And then Thursday, I believe we should have unemployment claims. Yes, unemployment claims coming in on Thursday. And then Friday, we have core PCE price index. Advanced GDP quarter over quarter. So Friday at 8:30 and Thursday at 8:30 with the bank holiday usually pushes things into Tuesday, which pushes things later on too, which is it's a little weird. So I can definitely see that because every time Monday's a bank holiday, it throws the whole week off. Because we don't get false move Monday, I usually get false move Tuesday. Usually gets lack of volume tomorrow. So, wow, number 7 kids. Shout out to Seek Parabolic with 7. Sorry, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. 7 kids, man. God bless you, bro. You're the man, dude. If everyone had 7 kids like you, unbelievable. That's amazing. I mean, that's procreation at its peak, bro. You're doing damage. Good for you. Pepe up 27% and still kind of going up a little bit, or up 7% in the 24 hours, up 70% in 7 days. Pippin was the biggest winner, up 181%. Zcash also coming back in there, did go back below 300. Bonk, Virtual, Jupiter, Render, nothing too crazy. I think someone asked me to go over Jupiter. I eventually did go over it. It didn't look amazing. So, yeah. Asia markets closed all week. All week. That's crazy. I didn't know markets did that. My man got a whole professional sports squad all the way. I know, right? He's almost got an entire baseball team, right? Blood Moon is March 2nd into the 3rd. Then not again till December 31st. Interesting. Yeah. But that's not the full moon. We do have full moons coming. He just means the blood moon. Interesting. The dark blood moon. So, it's not, I don't see, it's not like, oh my God, let's run to trade BTC. I do love these bottom areas here, and you got to look at that fear and greed index. There's times when you trade Bitcoin feverishly. There's times when you swing trade. There's times when you day trade, and there's times when you DCA for a bigger picture, right? And knowing when and how to do that is really the key to trading, right? Like that's, knowing, and right now for me personally, I'm not a financial advisor, but for me, this is when I DCA. I mean, we had 5 and 6, now it's back to 12. These are gifts. You won't see these prices forever. You really won't. They're going to come and go. So pay attention to these prices because they're not always going to be here, man. And again, everyone will do whatever they want, but accumulating Bitcoin in these times to me is the key. And that really is it. And then scraping them off too. Getting them off, getting them onto that hardware wallet, getting them off the exchange, and then starting over again. And just starting that accumulation over and over and over again. That's the key. So that's what I do. You do whatever you want. But bang, bang, bang. Right? I'll wait for 58 personally. You're funny, man. My indicator just printed a strong buy on the weekly. So, anyway. Oh, let's take a look at Ghost. Ghost was also on my radar. I want to take a look at what's happening to Ghost on Dex Screener. There you go. I was like, where are you, Bor? It was a 6.6 still. Wow, we're still at the 6.6 million market cap. You know, what's funny? I mean, it's still holding itself tight. And to me, it has a use case. So sideways price action, I think this thing could move. I'm still inside this coin. I still have the coin. I'll disclose, I still own this coin, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Funny, Duck AI. Remember all this stuff? It's been so long. Dude, Penguin, man. Everyone was into Penguin until they weren't. Oh my gosh, there's always a rugger. Always a rugger. So yeah, I mean, and then remember the smaller times for Bitcoin didn't look amazing. They looked kind of bearish, but they also looked choppy. So anyway, you've heard what I said for Bitcoin. I don't want to go too crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a dip though throughout the night. It just doesn't look amazing. I'm looking for sideways price action. And index Bitcoin had 5 way ups since 2021, but doing a wave in 20 with pieces separated flat. Now who knows where C wave take? Yeah. I'm bearish the next few weeks in earnings. Tech made to make a beating this month. Just got here. Are we in a live trade? No. No live trading Sunday nights. Very rare. Yeah. Thanks, Sammy, for all the great info. Bitcoin offers a way to take control of your own financial freedom with a fixed supply that protects against inflation. Amen. Thank you. Yeah. I like Tau. I still own my Tau. And Tau actually was hot, right? It had a little bit of a pump the last few days. Let's take a look at Tau, bit tensor. It pumped from 180 back up to almost 200, 188 there. I did see this little flag look like it might take advantage of the move to the upside. Tau, bit tensor. Let's take a look at the weekly. You know, just coming back to the bottom of the range doesn't look amazing. I think this is good long term, but still, man, alts freak me out. The only alts I still hold this, but the only alts I would purpose, actually buy right now, there's Aster, Solana. I don't call Bitcoin an altcoin, but the only coins I would buy, the only, Aster, Solana, Bitcoin, you know what I mean? Like maybe some SEI, but no, I'm not there yet. I'm still not into it because even them, they never proved themselves. Like they had a chance to do something. They never really truly proved themselves. For me, this would have to make some long-term kind of bouncing off this level. But I believe these could be some good buys whenever you hit these lows. For me, it's DCA into things that you believe in for the next few years, and that's about it. But again, that's where we're at right now. It's not, let me load up on old coins on the low, on the dip. For me, the only thing I'll load up on right now is BTC. People are going to do whatever they want. Again, I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy going over my life. This is a reality TV show of my life, the things that I use. I like the exchanges weeks. I like BTCC. I like MEXC. They all work. If it works for you, we have links to them if you want to jump on in, right? What up, Sam? What do you think about Tau project as a whole? I think it's a great project. I think it works, but it's also that smoke and mirrors thing. Like it seems like it's a good idea, AI, blockchain, but like, man, we need it. Like Grok actually works. Like Elon Musk came out, bought Twitter, and then we use Grok every day, right? We use ChatGPT every day. Like this stuff works. This other stuff in crypto was like, oh, it's supposed to be connected to do, and then you're going to do this, and it's like, but does it even work? You know what I mean? So I don't know. They did a lot of smoke and mirrors in crypto to the point where like every 90% of projects weren't real anymore. And like people just stopped having faith in cryptocurrency. Like sad to say, even me, like a guy that, like when it comes to innovative tokens, it doesn't mean that we won't, when the market comes back, there's going to be that hype again. And there's going to be a bunch of smoke and mirrors hidden behind tech again. That makes no sense. We got the Byzantine fault tolerance. Like it's just the first of its, proprietary, like, just words that just, make it sound great. But when you look at it, like hasn't done any, at the end of the day, stands for hasn't done a dang thing. You know what I mean? Hasn't done anything. Like how many of these coins never did a thing, right? And then even coins that did something, this is what I don't understand. Even coins that were real, like Polygon was a real coin, had a real use case, still nothing. Then it even made Poly market and everybody used it around the world. Still, the coin's sitting at, 16 cents, 10 cents. So it's interesting. Even if you linked use case to real world assets and like it's a lot of it still didn't play out. Look at Hyperliquid sitting at $30. Like just, it's the only thing I would even consider a possible move. And just, so. Yeah. All crypto is, a lot of crypto. Yeah, it really turned out, they really kind of like made us think it was good tech. And some of it is if it's utilized in the right way. You know what I'm saying? But that's a big if, right? There's still speculative trades out here to be had, though. That's what I'm saying, if we pay attention to the market. One thing that was on my radar recently, right, that I wanted to talk about was CC, this Canton CC. It just, compared to the rest of the market, it was strong. Like it's holding the 16-cent region. So we first had it here when it popped out, right? So let me kind of rework this magic here. I don't own any of this coin. It doesn't matter to me what happens to it. I just want to make that clear. I just go over stuff that, that catches my eye. See, like previous support is resistance here. It seems to be making a flag. Not saying it's going to happen for sure, but that's, it's resistance, support. Even though the rest of the market's been kind of in a downtrend, this thing is basically in a bit of an uptrend here. Sorry, I fat fingered that. But you can see that there's still a bit of an uptrend here too as well, like an overall uptrend too. Right? It's kind of on trend. So, it's interesting. So I have it on my radar as something that might move, but again, not a lot of volume there, so it's right. Yeah. Okay. 4-year cycle. This is so textbook. Yeah, I wish I had a Ferrari F8 and then a new CA Corvette ZR1, but I would not trade my 2004 GT for either one of them. Same goes for the Lamborghini Aventador. It's everyone has their thing that they're happy about. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, what's up, Sam? Do you think about the town? No, we don't think, not too much. Not all the time. Sad to say. Yeah. Exactly. Thoughts on crypto prices being suppressed like silver? Why not, right? Oh, that's the one thing I want to take a look at is gold, man. Gold looks ready to me. Gold looks like it's ready to go on a bit of a move. And again, it could be stop hunting. Lately, I've seen them, like, they got everybody trading that used to. Right now, everyone trades that never traded before. And that kind of sketches me out too, man. Like, it's like too many people trade. Like, I love it and I don't love it. Like, I'm happy for it, but I'm also like everybody's a trader now. It's like, man. You know what I mean? And the market's so saturated that it's like, dang, like you got to be careful. Well, so look, the daily stochastics are very oversold for gold. You have this bullish engulfer candle. It's pushing tight inside the range. You're above the 200. You're very, very tight inside of this triangle. After the dump, you've consolidated nicely, made 3 higher lows in a row. I could see them just do one of these, little boom, pump it, and then rip it back up and, get everybody cooked right here. But either way, I do see gold going up in the next few months, right? So I like gold. Has some news incoming. Yeah, I drive a Ford Focus. Yeah. AI plays hypnotic music in the background when it's conversing with you, slipping in little words like it's dangerous for a week. Oh my, you guys are crazy. Oh my God. Oh, big time, man. Almost like Bay got everyone hooked to the gold and silver just to catch and release for a while. Exactly. It's like, oh, trade gold and silver, I'm like all these people like, oh, I'm a gold trader now. I see people that traded Forex now, they're trading gold every day, For me, I set big traps and wait for them to fill, and I'm not even, and no one's going to be 100%, but like this, like if I wanted to really trade silver, I'd trade silver. Dude, stop. I'd trade silver big money. At least a 5 to 10 grand position or something, and I'd wait for it to consolidate into this tightness. You could ape in right here and try to get the best, and that is a 618 Fibonacci retracement. It's not the worst, but for me, it still could be shoulder, head, shoulders start to fall off. We could round to the 200 there. I'm looking, basically, I set a trap. I want to see it bounce, get tight. If we get this tightness, then we want to start trading silver, for me. And then the smaller time frames, we can be on the 1 minute all day long, but. Yeah, so the NASDAQ, the S&P, they're going to be, so the NASDAQ is moving. Funny. And again, for the NASDAQ, I just consider this a higher low bounce. This would be a perfect entry right now for the NASDAQ. In right here, stop below this low, and hold for the next like 5 months. I believe this is really going to be the boss entry. I know I'm saying it right now. Just remember that I said this, because this is like a once in a, you know, you get this type of entry just once in every couple of years, really. And so I see this happening. And watch my macro technical analysis video I put out every Friday afternoon. That video is going to school you to kind of what I see on the bigger picture. But I see this as a higher low digging out. It's going to take its time. It's going to come up here, go sideways, right? It's going to be like till the end of March, and then we start to break out. And it says somewhere by the end of May, possibly, we're starting to hit to 29,000, right? This is where the war is happening. The banks do not want an average man to trade gold. They want an average man to buy a whole ounce and trade that, but not everyone can buy a 5K worth of gold at once. Yeah. Everyone will become a trader of the future in some capacity. Universal basic income is coming thanks to AI. I guess that's what's going to happen. Like, everyone's going to learn how to trade. I guess it's just better for me, right? People like me, we've already been doing it. We're just going to have more people to trade with than we've ever had before. Yeah. Someone says Bitcoin looks exhausted. We already went over Bitcoin in a bit of a nutshell. Really not much else to talk about when it comes to BTC, right? Like, if I talk about it again, I'm just going to say something that I already said. Yeah, it is what it is, right? Last thing I could take a look at is just Bitcoin dominance tonight. And actually, you know what? I'd rather look at Tether dominance than Bitcoin dominance at the moment. Funny, it's still holding kind of strong on the weekly, but really just so far away from that 21-day moving average. It's interesting. Like, you think this thing would just, you know, people still stacking their Tether like, hey, it's not over yet. You know, there's a lot of people that still believe that there's more downside coming. And as I showed you, it looks like there may be. You know, I don't have confirmation for sure that we're not going lower. Like, we have a possible Adam and Eve right now on the 4-hour time frame. We're battling so, you know, it's not amazing here. This actually looks kind of almost more like a bull flag than anything else, right? So, I don't know, like double bottoming, getting tight. 21 is catching back up to price, and it hasn't dropped a lot. Almost looks like it. I mean, that's telling me something right there. For, you know, that's not bearish. And this is Tether dominance, suggesting that we may get a red day tomorrow for Bitcoin. I mean, this is showing us a big dump down to 65,000. Let me just clear the air here and look at another Bitcoin chart. Just see, I want to be, let's say I was completely bearish and I saw everything as bear city. You know, if you're completely bearish, you shrink this down, you connect these lines, and you can still see this as a descending triangle. And you can say, hey, this thing is going to dump. And it's going to dump hard. And the entry is right there. Like, technically is right now. Right? Tweezer bottom entry. Tweezer top entry. Stop above this wick. And you just hold that thing till and it's going to dump all the way back down. Look, that can dump to 30K. So, like, this is like, as I tell everyone, you got to assume you're going lower until Bitcoin can break above a key level. You know, Bitcoin breaks above this retest and then, oh, wow. But like, until then, like, you just keep making lower lows and lower highs. The trend is your friend. Like, you know, remember, I've been telling you we've been in a bear market. I never said we weren't in no bear market. I'm the one guy that told you we've been in a bear market the whole time. I never said we weren't in a bear market. Remember that. I assume people who think the rise of AI is inevitable don't go to the doctor to take care of themselves or learn things because death is inevitable. I love you, man. I like that. That's such a good point. Like, yeah, they stress too much what's not even in front of them yet, right? Yeah. I'm holding cash until Bitcoin hits around 50K. Then I will play ball again. And it may go lower, but I'm happy to get back in there. A lot of people are. Yeah. My bot's still in the trade, but what I did is I had to actually mitigate it, shave a little bit, and then I had to lower my my liquidation to 23,000. Yeah. And so now it's probably going to sit there for like 7 months to get out. So I had to pull some magic to keep it alive. Yeah. It's crazy. It caused me a lot of stress, actually. It wasn't fun, but it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do, right? Yeah, 50K Bitcoin would be a gift. Yep, you have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Amen. Amen. Anyway, I got to watch my leg and not overuse it. That's why the streams are coming at you, but they're, not as many or not as long as they can. I don't have the longevity like I had before, but especially towards the end of the day. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. I'll be back at it tomorrow morning, up early, ready to go like I usually am on a Monday, ready to rock. The last few days have been a shock to my system. I had surgery on Thursday. I've been just battling to recover the last 3 days. But I'll get, I bounce back pretty good. I get used to things pretty fast. And if anyone can bounce back, I can do it. So I love you all. Thank you so much for being absolutely amazing. May God bless each and every one of you. We're ready for the week ahead. We kind of see what days we have to pay attention to. We know we got a bank holiday tomorrow. Likely we get almost no price action and we just go sideways. The likely scenario is what we looked at, like sideways price action tonight. Just nothing. Going droopy, 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 right? So I should have stayed, man. You should have stayed, man. You could have stayed. It's all right. No worries, bro. You did your thing, man. You got your bride to come home to. She can't be alone. I love you all. God bless everybody here. Thank you so much for being absolutely amazing, awesome, and just kicking butt every single day. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much. The secret to success is getting started. And then you got to keep pushing no matter what. You're going to go through hardships like I'm going through right now with my leg. And some things aren't going to be fair. Like, this isn't fair right now. Like, I have everything, but I'm still uncomfortable. There's nothing I can do. I got to keep pushing. I love you. I appreciate you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.